Hi, I'm Amy. I'm with the London Middlesex Master Gardeners. I wanted to quickly show you today what's growing in my spring garden. There is lots of great vegetables where you do the work the previous year, plant the seed, and then harvest it this time of year. There's lots of things for salads in the spring garden. So for example, this is claytonia or miner's lettuce. Thick leaves, very mild flavor, makes a great salad on its own. This is from last year. Here's the claytonia I have planted for this year. I'll plant it in the garden in a few weeks and then it will grow, set seed in about July. That seed will germinate and become the plants that I eat next year. These plants overwinter very well. Similarly, this is mache. Nice little plant. This is the whole size of the plant. It's already starting to go to flower. It overwinters reliably here. It has a bit of a nutty flavor, but it's delicious in salads and it is easy to grow. Last year's kale that was left in the garden is now sprouting and it's got a very mild flavor and the leaves are very tender. So don't pull out your kale from the previous year. If we have a mild winter, and depending on the type of kale you grow, it will overwinter. Winter boar, red boar, and the Russian kales tend to overwinter fairly reliably. Arugula or rocket. This was planted last year. Now this plant is starting to grow again. I actually have arugula that I'm going to plant for this year, but this time of year I can eat last year's plant before it goes to flower. Same thing with this. This is cilantro. The leaves are beautiful this time of year. I planted this plant back in the fall, and when the weather gets warm, the leaves are going to change shape and they'll become a lot fernier and less delicious. So this is a great time of year to eat cilantro. And then peas. I actually plant my peas quite thickly in the row and then I harvest every other pea and make salads out of them. I only do this with the untreated peas. If the pea is pink and it's been treated with fungicide, I don't eat it at this stage because that fungicide could be throughout the plant and then you'd be eating the fungicide, which you don't want to do. This is sorrel and you grow it in a herb garden. It's a perennial, grows in a little clump, and in the springtime it's at its best. The leaves are tender. You cook them and they have quite an acidic flavor and they cook down into a nice sauce. So they're a very nice plant that you really only eat in the springtime. This is last year's brassicas. I let my brassicas mate freely, so bok choy, patsai, different Asian greens. I just let them all mix, and then the seeds, I just let them fall where they do, they germinate, and then this time of year I have all these little flowers that I pick off these plants and harvest them and eat them. And then lastly, it's a great time of year for onion family members. They are at their best. This is a walking onion. It forms a nice bulb. This is going to get some little bulbs on the top of these leaves that will bend down and then start new plants. And when they start to go to flower, they get tough. So good time of year to eat these walking onions is now. They're also called Egyptian onions. This is a Welsh onion. They grow in a little clump. It's Allium fistulosum. They are a nice thick green onion and they overwinter reliably here. They're good down to zone 4. This is Scallion. You can grow different types of Scallion or green onion, bunching onion. These are also Allium fistulosum. The variety I grow is evergreen white Nabucca, and that's because it is a very cold hardy Scallion. I've always had this over winter. This is from last year, this clump of plants, and they're going to go to flower soon. When they do that, they get tough. So you got to eat them now, and then when they go to flower, you eat your ones you're going to plant this year. So this is what they look like. I hill them up so you get a nice long shank on them. So they're hilled up so that this part is out of the sunlight. And this is my pot of scallions for this year, and I'll plant them out in the garden soon. And then I'll eat these little guys in the fall and next summer. And then lastly, this is some garlic that I just get lazy and don't harvest all of it. This time of year it starts to come up nicely and you can pick it and cook it up. It's very nice. So this was garlic that was from last year that didn't get harvested, in contrast to the garlic that you plant in order to harvest for this year. Thanks a lot for listening. Bye.